Good morning, students. This is Maithili, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, St. Anne's Arts and Science College. Last class, we saw some basic definitions, properties of sets, principle of inclusion and exclusions in Unit 1. Students, go through the last class definitions, properties. Today, we are going to see some important definitions and basic theorems and some problems in the same Unit 1. Let us start with the problem. See the problem, first problem. Among a group of 300 college students, 40 study maths, 70 study computer science and 50 study physics. If 20 study both maths and computer science, 15 study both physics and computer science, and 30 study both maths and physics. And 10 students study maths, physics and computer science. Find the students who not studying maths, physics and computer science. What's the problem is given? In the college, there are 300 students. Out of 300 students, 40 students study maths, 70 study computer science and 50 students study physics. And the 20 students study both maths and computer science, and 15 students studies both physics and computer science, and 30 students study both maths and physics. And 10 students studies all the three subjects. We have to find students who are not studying maths, physics and computer science. We have to find the complement. Right. See the solution. First write the given data. What is given? What is the determinant? Yes, is nothing but number of students. Number of students is 300. And determinant M is equal to 40. Determinant C is equal to 70, computer science. Determinant P, physics, is equal to 50. And determinant M intersection C is equal to 20. That is maths and computer science. And determinant physics intersection C, the P intersection C, physics and computer science is 15. And determinant maths and physics, M intersection P. M intersection P is equal to 30. And determinant M intersection P intersection C is equal to 10. Okay. Next, we have to find the union. So what's the formula? For principle of inclusion and exclusion, last class we saw that is modulus of A union B union C is equal to modulus of A plus modulus of B plus modulus of C minus modulus of A intersection B minus modulus of B intersection C minus modulus of A intersection C plus modulus of A intersection B intersection C. We have to using the same formula. Instead of A, B, C, we have to write M, P and C. That is maths, physics and computer science. Therefore, modulus of M union P union C is equal to mod M plus mod P plus mod C minus M intersection P minus P intersection C minus M intersection C plus mod M intersection P intersection C. Substitute all the values, we get the answer, we get the value is 105. Adding all the terms, we get the value 105. But the question is number of students who are not studying in physics, maths and computer science. That is, we have to subtract the 105 from the total number of students. How many students? 300. So you have to subtract 300 minus 105, that is nothing but 195. Therefore, the students who are not studying all the three subjects is 195. Right. See the next sum. Let U is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And A is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8. B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. C is equal to 1, 5, 6, 7. So these are the set. U is nothing but universal set. A the set, B set, C set are given. We have to find one by one. First we have to find A intersection B. A intersection B is, you know that you have to write the common terms both in A and B. The set A and B, the both term, in the both term, which term is common? 2 and 4 is common. So A intersection B is equal to set 2 and 4. And we know that A union B is nothing but you have to combine the terms A and B. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. And A difference B. A difference B is nothing but, so we have to compare the set A and B and Cancel the common terms in A. A difference B is nothing but compare A and B and cancel the common term in A alone. So in A and B, which terms are common? 2, 4 is common. So just cancel 2 and 4. What are the remaining terms? 6 and 8. So for A difference B is equal to 6, 8. And A complement. A complement is nothing but just compare A and the universal set. So from the universal set, so cancelling the term A, 2, 4, 6, 8. So just cancel 2, 4, 6, 8. What are the remaining terms? 1, 3, 5, 7. That is the A complement. Similarly, B complement is nothing but compare universal set and B and cancel the term 1, 5, 6, 7. 1, 5, that is, and cancel the term 1, 2, 3, 4. B in the universal set. What are the remaining terms? 5, 6, 7, 8. That is A, B dash. Next one, you have to find A union B whole dash. A union B, you know the value for A union B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. You have to find the complement. So see the universal set, just cancel 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. What are the remaining terms? Remaining terms are 5 and 7. Therefore, A union B, the whole dash is nothing but 5 and 7. Next one, A union B difference C. A union B difference C. So we know that A union B and C, we have to compare the both term A union B and C and cancelling the common term in A union B alone. What are the terms common? 1 is common and then 1, just cancel 1 and then 6 is common. So cancelling 6 in A union B. The remaining terms are 2, 3, 4, 8. That is A union B difference is equal to 2, 3, 4, 8. Right. Next one, you have to find B intersection C. That is A difference B intersection C. A difference B intersection C. So B intersection C is nothing but 1. So A difference B intersection C is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8. Next one, A cross B. A cross B is nothing but the Cartesian product. A cross B is nothing but Cartesian product. For the set A and B is right, you have to just cross product. That is 2, 1. A cross B means 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 8, 1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4. This is A cross B. Suppose, similarly, we have to find B cross A means we have to just cross product with B with A. That is 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 6, 1, 8, and 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 6, 2, 8. Like that, we have to find B cross A. Okay. Next one, symmetric difference. Symmetric difference of the sets A and B is denoted by A triangle B. Triangle symbol is denoted as nothing but symmetric difference. We know that no ordinary difference, but this is symmetric difference. Symmetric difference formula is nothing but A union B condition A intersection B. That is condition, that is nothing but difference. That is also difference. A symmetric B is equal to A union B condition A intersection B. So see the problem. Compute A symmetric difference B. A and B's are given. So just write the formula. Find A union B. Find A intersection B. And just find the symmetric difference. So A symmetric difference B is equal to which terms are common in A union B and A intersection B? 5 and 8 are common. Write the remaining terms 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. So this is A symmetric difference B. Right. See the next sum. Next sum. If A, B, C are 3 sets such that A, B, C are 3 sets such that what the condition is given A union B is equal to B union C and A intersection B is equal to A intersection C is equal to B intersection C. So these are the two sets are two conditions are given. The two conditions are A union B is equal to B union C and A intersection C is equal to B intersection C. The two conditions are given. We have to prove that A is equal to B. Okay. See the solution. We know that A is equal to A intersection of A union C. The next step. So this is the statement is come under by the property A is equal to A intersection of A union C. Therefore, A intersection of A union C can be written as B union C. This using the condition. Condition is given in the question. Therefore, write A union C is equal to B union C. And next one, apply the property, distribution property. A intersection B union A intersection C. And again apply the condition. What condition? A intersection C is equal to B intersection C? No. So A intersection B is nothing but B intersection A, and A intersection C is equal to B intersection C. And next one, B intersection of A union C. Okay, there is nothing but B intersection of B union C. That is nothing but B. Therefore, A is equal to B. This is a very, very important 2 marks. So just go through. Next one, some basic properties. All these are some basic properties we already learned in our lower classes. See some important basic laws. First one, commutative law. So what is called commutative law? If A plus B is equal to B plus A plus B is equal to B plus A, the first one is a commutative law under the additive operation. A plus B is equal to B plus A. Similarly, under the multiplication operation, AB is equal to BA. For all A comma B belongs to I. So this is a commutative law. And second one, associative law. A plus B plus C is equal to A plus of B plus C. This is associative law under additive operation. And second one, A dot B dot C is equal to A dot of B dot C. So this is also associative law under the multiplication operation. Next one, identity law. A plus 0 is equal to A. Second one, A dot A. A dot 1 is equal to A. So this is the identity law of under the operation addition and multiplication. Next one. See the next one. Next one, additive inverse. For any integer A, there exists an integer B such that A plus B is equal to 0. Any integer A, there exists an integer B. What's the condition? A plus B is equal to 0. This integer B, the integer B is called the additive inverse. The integer B is called the additive inverse and is denoted as additive inverse is nothing but minus A. Denoted as a symbol minus. Therefore, A minus B can be written as A plus of minus B. Distributive law. That is, we have nothing but distributive law under multiplication and addition. So, A dot of B plus C is equal to A dot B plus A dot C. Next one, cancellation law. So, cancellation law, if A, B, C are integers such that A is not equal to 0, A dot B is equal to A dot C. This implies B is equal to C. For A dot B is equal to A dot C, now it's nothing but we have to cancelling the A. There it is, A is in the right hand side. So this is called right cancellation law. Suppose if A is in the left hand side means we have to cancel A, that is called the left cancellation law. So cancellation law is nothing but A dot B is equal to A dot C means B is equal to C. Right. Next one, see the theorem. If A, B, C are integers, then B plus A is equal to C plus A. What condition is given? B plus A is equal to C plus A. This implies B is equal to C. And second one, A plus B is equal to A plus C. This implies B is equal to C. We have to prove this. Suppose this theorem comes under the cancellation law, girls. Right. Suppose A, B, C are integers. Let us take the first step. We have to prove the first condition. What is given? A plus B, B plus A is equal to C plus A. What is the first condition? B plus A is equal to C plus A. So next step we have to subtracting A on both sides. So we get A, we get B plus A minus A is equal to C plus A minus A. The next step is associated. Just put the bracket. B plus of A minus A is equal to C plus of A minus A. A minus A, that is additive inverse property. A minus A is nothing but 0. So B plus 0 is equal to C plus 0. So we get B is equal to C. So this is for the first one. So similarly we can prove the second case in the same manner. Right. See the next theorem. If A be the integer, then A dot 0 is equal to 0 dot A is equal to 0. A is integer. We have to prove that A dot 0 is equal to 0 dot A is equal to 0. Proof. A dot 0 plus 0 dot A. A dot 0 plus 0 is equal to A dot 0. Where 0 is the additive inverse. Next step. A dot 0 plus 0 is equal to A dot of 0 plus 0. So in the right hand side, we have to write 0 as 0 plus 0. And next one. a dot 0 plus 0 is equal to, you have to apply the distributive law in the right hand side. So we get simply a dot 0 plus a dot 0. So just cancelling both side a dot 0. So we get a dot 0 is equal to a. Similarly, 0 dot a is also 0. Therefore, a dot 0 is equal to 0 dot a is equal to 0. See the next theorem. If a and b are two integers such that a dot b is equal to 0, then either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. What is given? A and b are two integers. What's condition is given? A dot b is equal to 0. We have to prove that either a is 0 or b is 0. Right. Suppose a and b are integers such that integers means a is not equal to 0 and a dot b is equal to 0. Then from the theorem 2, what's the theorem 2? A dot b is equal to a dot 0. So by the cancellation law, cancelling a on both sides, we get simply b is equal to 0. Similarly, we can prove that a is equal to 0. Right. Next theorem. For any integer, a minus of minus a is equal to a. A minus of minus a is equal to a. From the inverse property, we have to consider the inverse property. Consider a plus of minus a is equal to 0. So, you have to write, instead of a, you have to write minus a. So, minus a plus a is equal to 0. There is a commutative. You know that commutative a plus b is equal to b plus a. So, a plus of minus a is nothing but minus a of plus a. Just we have to apply the commutative property. That is nothing but a is equal to minus of minus a. Next definition, closure property of positive integers. If a and b are two positive integers, then a plus b and a dot b is also a positive integer. If a, b are both positive means a plus b is also positive and a dot b is also positive. This is called closure property of positive integer. Next one, a and b be any two integers. A is said to be greater than b is denoted by a is greater than b. If a minus b is a positive integer, then b is less than a. Okay, this is a greater. What's the definition for greater integer? If a is said to be greater than b means that is a is greater than b, and a minus b is a positive integer means b is less than a. Next one, trichotomy law. Trichotomy law. If a is any integer, then either a is greater than 0 or a is equal to 0 or 0 is greater than a. This is called the trichotomy law. A is greater than 0. From the trichotomy law, we have to apply the greater definition. That is, if a is any integer, then either a is greater than 0 or a is equal to 0 or 0 is greater than a. This is called the trichotomy law. Next, mathematical induction. The mathematical induction, the chapter is very, very important one. The 10 marks problem, mathematical induction method is very, very important for the 10 marks question. Listen, principle of mathematical induction. Principle of mathematical induction. Let P of n be a mathematical statement about the non-negative integer n and n naught be a fixed non-negative integer. First one, suppose P of n naught is true. P of n is true for n is equal to n naught. Whenever k is an integer such that k is greater than or equal to n naught and P of k is true, then P of k plus 1 is true. Then P of n is true for all integers n is greater than or equal to n naught. For these two properties, the above property of integers is called the first principle of mathematical induction. This property is called the first principle of mathematical induction.